Well, hello, Bob Dendry here, and welcome back to Transport Fever 2, where we are building the Reno, Thousand Oaks and Roseville Railway. So I hope you enjoyed the last episode getting that wonderful Alco PA into service, and today we're going to be focusing more on the industrial side of things. Now, throughout the last few episodes, while we've been building up some of our new supply chains and getting them really, into service, I've been paying attention to a few different places and what sort of goods they are asking for at those places. First of all, we've got Santa Clara that needs a lot of tools. If we pop on our cargo overlay, we can see we've got a lot of demand for tools here, and we've got a freight station here already that we can hopefully link up to. As well as that, we've got Ann Arbor that needs a lot of fuel, and Hollywood needs a whole lot of bricks as well. And we've got all three of those resources pretty much ready for us to start pumping out. So let's start planning how we're going to make this work. I think the quickest and easiest place for us to start is Santa Clara over here. We've already got a good station. We already have some sort of feeder truck services that we can adapt to utilize or to run on our tools. And it should be fairly easy. One thing I do want to call out, and this is a mistake I made when I built this station, is that it's only 160 or 180 meters long. It's not 240, which is the standard across the rest of the network. So first thing we're going to need to do here is to actually upgrade it to a longer platform length. And I think the easiest way we can do this is actually going in this direction. That's going to cause some disruption to the road network of the city. But we sort of built ourselves into needing to do that by building a big freight building at this side of the station. So let's go ahead and start making those changes. Alright, and we've done a little bit of reorganizing. We will unpause again, but we need to reconnect this side of the town because it has no connection to the other side right now. And we're going to be good corporate citizens, and we're going to make that connection happen. Maybe. Either that, or we'll just rely on this connection here. Which is probably not ideal. We can maybe get a connection over here as well, so there's at least two ways to get to the town. Lovely. Alright, next thing we're going to do is we're going to make some changes to our Santa Clara Freight distro network. So what we will do, I'm going to get I think just one truck unload stop over here. Hopefully that should cover off everything. Yeah, that should cover everything. Then what we're going to do, we are going to get our line and we're going to add some additional stops. So we're going to add a stop back at Santa Clara branch, and then we're going to go to Washington Street. So these trucks are now going to be going sort of 2 trips, and they don't, I believe, currently actually accept tools. Let's have a look though. So we are running on these Benz trucks with side stakes. They don't currently accept tools. So what we're actually going to do, we're going to switch across to some of these side stake trucks here. They actually do accept tools. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get 4 of these purchased. We will get them on our Santa Clara Freight distro line. And if we have a look at the line itself, what we're actually going to do, we're going to sell off these old ones. In fact, I might actually get just one more as well on that line. And so these are going to be higher capacity, and they're going to serve the two sort of use cases of taking our bricks around to our industrial area, and also take our tools as well, which we'll be, getting in very, very shortly now. Now that that's sorted out, let's get some trains purchased to take our tools. Now, I am thinking... I'm thinking we're actually going to go with the Alco HH. The reason we're doing that is this is a very short trip. So we're not going to be disrupting the network really too much based on that. But we will need to get another platform in here to also support that. And now what we're going to do is I will shift our existing train that, you know, takes the wood over and brings the planks back to use our new platform that we've just added in. And then our new train is going to use the existing platform that the other one was previously using. Perfect. So we're just going to make some slight changes there. What we're going to do as well, we'll actually disconnect this one, which will cause our wood train to reroute through the correct platform. And now that's done, let's get a vehicle purchase. So yes, we'll go the Alco here, and we'll get some new box cars purchased to run the actual tools. I think 126 is probably going to be fine here. So we'll get those purchased and we will create a new line to run them. And perfect, it's even used the correct platforms as well. So nothing much to do there, we can just wait for that one to start coming in. Hopefully we should start to see some goods or some tools waiting there to go over to Santa Clara, and our trucks should start to take those around as well. Alright, and that one's now looked after. So what are we going to work on next? And I think getting some fuel over here to Ann Arbor is going to be a really good option for us. It'll also allow us to probably use a different train. We've been using Mercados a lot, but I think this one will probably deserve something a little bit heavier. Let's have a look at how much it needs. It needs 117, so that's a pretty decent demand it has there. And we will need to get a new platform in here as well to deal with this. So it will be a cargo terminus. Take it up to 240 meters, and let's see what sort of coverage we can get. So if we remove this road here, and we should pretty much cover everything. Not 100% of everything, but yeah, pretty good coverage there, and we will chuck that on as a double platform, just because really. And yeah, then we can just connect this one up to our main line, and that's all the construction we actually need to do to support this movement, which is pretty cool. Alright, lovely. And other thing we need to do is just get another platform over here at our Thousand Oaks fuel refinery. Obviously, we've only got 2 at the moment. That could cause some backups on the network. Now, what's going to be a challenge is actually getting our train from our right side tracks over here to the fuel refinery, because at the moment we've got it set up as a bit of a no conflict sort of area, whereas we're probably going to need to have some sort of conflicting movement, or we're going to need to go under our main line and have a bit of a, almost like a ramp sort of situation set up. So how do we make this work? I wonder if we could get something in here. I'm going to say no, probably not. No. Way too much curvature there. Or we could come in at a little bit more of an angle. Not like that though. That was not what I was thinking. If we come out from about here or so. Almost. Almost, but not quite. Okay, we've got a connection there. It's going to remove some buildings, but I'm pretty happy with it. It's pretty decent. So from there we can climb back up to our main line there. Lovely. Alright, and we've just been doing a little bit of reconfiguring here, and I think we should be set up now. What we will do is we will get our Thousand Oaks to Reno line. We will switch that across to platform 3, and then our new train we're putting in can run on platform 1, and that should have access to everything it needs to access. Now, I don't think we need a big boy, but I think we will go with a 412 too. Which will give us the extra power and top speed we need to really make this line work for us. So we'll get it added in, and we also have some new tank cars that we've recently unlocked, so we're going to use those. and pretty much get this as large as we can. I think probably we'll actually take it up to 240 or as close to 240 as we can get. We need a little bit more cash, but that is fine. And once that is ready to go, we will get that on the line and get it running. And there we go, purchased. So let's get a line set up for this one. It's going to run from Thousand Oaks branch all the way over here to Ann Arbor. Fantastic, and we'll be keen to see how that nice big large locomotive runs as well. Alrighty, and next up we've got bricks for Hollywood. So as you can see, Hollywood has a pretty decent demand for bricks, and if we look at our cargo overlay, they're all over here on the other side to our passenger station. So let's get a lovely, lovely cargo station set up to accept those. Just because of how things are sort of laid out, I'm not going to use a terminus for this one. It will actually just be a regular, how would you say? No, actually, let's change my mind. To get this working properly, I think right here is going to be where we're going to place our terminus. There's a few places that don't have coverage. We can extend a distribution service should we need to. Another thing here is that this actually gives us coverage of our food processing plant, which may help with some of our other sort of industry demands we need down the line. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a line set up back to our main line. And we're going to try and run around this this ridge here to save us a bit of cash. Alright, perfect, that looks good. We will get some signals down as well. I do need to get a signal down over here at Ann Arbor as well, actually. Just so we're, reasonably clear that we are pretty much prioritizing the passenger movement over the freight movement, which is, I think, as expected. Alright, now that that's built, we need to hop over to Roseville here. Now, the thing we need to note is that we are actually a little bit over capacity now with this station. Now, I've thought of a couple of ways we could deal with this, one of which is to actually rebuild our passenger and our freight station as a single station and just have different platforms for each. I'm not going to go with that one quite yet, because that is going to mean a lot of disruption. So what I'm going to do instead, we are going to extend a sort of a parallel running line, I think. And what that will do is it'll allow our bricks trains to sort of stop and wait if they need to, I guess, line up and wait for a free track. So I'm going to do that. Apparently that's causing a collision, I don't know why. What is the collision with? Okay, the collision is with the, I'm guessing with the signals. So we will build anyway, but we need to decide where we're going to build it. So I think we'll build to over here. We need a 240 meter long. Perfect. And then we're going to build our sort of crossover right here. In fact, what we could actually do to save a little bit of a track, we don't need to cross over to this track here. We just need to cross over from the track coming in the other direction. I'm not making a lot of sense right now. But trains aren't going to be going back this way. They will be heading back onto this track here. So, should be able to connect this up somewhere, hopefully. I'm just going to quickly pause this because I'm like breaking the game right now. Okay. Alright, that is fixed up now. Also need to make this connection here. And then we should be able to, don't need that one. We just need to cross over here. All right, that should more or less make sense, I think. You never know. But what we will do is we'll get some signals in as well. Cool, and I think that is making sense. Though apparently you've got problems. Do you just need to turn around? You just needed to turn around to fix your problems. Fair enough. We will unpause. And we can get our further bricks train running. This one we will be running a class 9000 again on, I think. Or should we go with Big Boy? I mean, they're a lot newer, aren't they? Oh, hang on a sec. I didn't see this. We've got a GP9. Given it's the 22nd of January, this is clearly just unlocked. So, yeah, this is obviously what we're going to be getting. So I will buy that GP9. It's going to be running long hood first, apparently, which is interesting. And we will get some side stake wagons on here to carry our bricks. And I think 162 is probably a good capacity, so we'll get that purchased. And we will get a new line created for it as well. So we'll be going over here to Hollywood. And we are good to go. Now there's one more thing I want to work on in this episode. And I say one more thing, but it's going to be a pretty big undertaking, I think. So we have a lot of demand for food around the place. So Fontana wants food. Rancho Cucamonga wants food. Roseville as well. Even Thousand Oaks would take a little bit, but it's sort of fairly early days of that demand. And we don't have any sort of supply of food. And if we look over here at Lancaster and Simi Valley over here, these two towns also want food, and there is also a number of farms and also a food processing plant in that general area. So what we're going to do, we're going to finish up looking at getting a new line extended over through these towns and also get a nice food logistics chain running. Now, question is, where do we join up? And I think probably where we've already got this junction might make the most sense. We might have it sort of break off towards Fontana, and then it'll break off further going towards Lancaster. We'll need to probably rethink this a little bit, but I think it makes sense right now. We will be building to high-speed rail standards as well. So this is our initial line we're running, is actually just going to cover off the two towns, and then we can build our sort of food bits and pieces off there. I'm actually thinking we'll probably run road vehicles to cover this sort of area here. They're all very close together. We do have a few more farms that we could potentially bring in as well. In terms of Lancaster, it's a pretty spread out town, and we've got a lot of residential sort of just generally all around about the place. So if we are placing down a passenger station, we can pretty much do it anywhere really. But I'm thinking we're going to do it probably nice and simple. Pop it over here, and we will set up a little sort of local network here to cover off any remaining connections we need to make. And it looks like we're going to be building a bit of a tunnel through this hill, and that's okay. It's still, fairly affordable for us. So we'll get that in. And then we should be able to run pretty much just straight along ground over to Simi Valley. Once again, we are going to be, fairly flexible with where we're placing the passenger station, and we will get some public transport to cover the rest of the demand as well. Okay, perfect. So that is built. Next, let's handle our grain into the food processing plant. What we're probably going to need is a truck station with a number of platforms to handle sort of all of this. We'll probably run food by road to Lancaster as well. Alright, here we go. So what is our production like? 1200 production. So we'll be producing food until the cows come home. So we'll need plenty of trucks, in fact. So let's have a look. Alright, so we'll be going with dump trucks. I might get, let's have a look. Doing maths. 16. And that is quite a quite an investment. So what we'll do, we'll get a few new lines set up. No, I actually wanted 12, didn't I? Yeah, I did, but that's okay. And we'll sell off the remaining ones then, and pretend my mistake never happened. Next from here, we will get maybe 3 tarpaulin trucks. Actually, no, we can get side stakes trucks, 3 of those. And we'll set up a line for those as well. So these will be running food into Lancaster. Why is there a problem? Did we use the wrong type? Yes, we did. Makes sense. Okay, so we will need instead a truck unload stop. Sorted. Cool. Alright, so that's the beginning of this line. I don't know why they're all going there first, because, I mean, they should really be going to fill up, but whatever. And hopefully this should really start bringing in just that little bit extra cash for us. Alright, next let's get our food line prepared that will run towards Fontana, and I think Roseville and Rancho is where we're going to target to start with. So let's get a cargo terminus station. We will need at least 3 platforms, but we'll, be flexible and go for 4. And then we can pretty much just connect that into our existing line that we've just built. Our first connection we're going to make is going to be the easy one, which is over to Roseville. So we will build in it a bit of a triangle, connect it up there, and then we can also connect up our second platform as well, so we've got some nice coverage there. Now that should be all we need to make that work, so I might just pretty much just get this into operation now. There's only one train that's going to be using this triangle, so we'll just leave it as a single track one at the moment, but we could extend it if we need to, or expand it. We'll be running another GP9 here, I think that's a fairly simple and easy decision to make, and we'll be running boxcars up to a capacity of probably about 160 or so. Perfect. And let's get a new line set up. Alrighty, and it's time to get some passenger services organised up here to Simi Valley. And we're going to slightly reconfigure how our network's running. Now, one thing I'm noticing is with our Pioneer Zephyrs, let's have a look. We've got 202 passengers waiting at Santa Clara, for example. Our Zephyrs have a capacity of 118. So straight up, this is just not really working. And basically, what I'm thinking we're going to do, we're going to move these Zephyrs onto running up to Simi Valley, at least one of them. And we'll actually get a Alco PA with some streamlined cars to run to Indianapolis instead. So I'm going to set up a new line, and I think this one will run all the way to Reno. We do have capacity at the terminus there anyway. And it's going to run just all stops through to Lancaster and onto Simi Valley, and then back. That's a nice simple one. We're going to call this the Simi Valley line. And then we're going to go over to our main passenger line. I'm going to grab one of our Zephyrs, probably this newer one. It looks like it's newer anyway because it's a better condition. And we're actually going to switch this one over to running on the Simi Valley line. And that is all fixed up. Perfecto. Alright. So that's done. And now we're going to get a Alco PA running all the way over to Indianapolis. Alrighty, so we'll get the Alco purchased. And we're going to pop down here to our All-America Gold Sand cars. And how much can we get here? I reckon if we just wait a little bit, we'll have enough to make this a 180 meter long train. And we didn't have to wait long at all, so we'll purchase that. And that is now going to run on our main passenger line, so this is going to be a bit of a change. I would say before too long we might need to move that other Pioneer Zephyr onto another line, but we're going to leave it for the moment. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so you get a ding to your device the next time I post a video. You can find links to all my social media in the description, so please jump on there, like, follow, subscribe, do all that wonderful stuff, and a big shout out to Twitch. If you've got Twitch, please consider giving me a follow. It obviously doesn't cost you anything, but it helps me out a lot. But until next time, I'm Bob Dendry. This is Transport Fever 2. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.